Hello and welcome back to this channel. For those who are new, I'm Emma and this is a knitting channel. And today is a regular podcast with finished objects, work in progress and some acquisition. And I haven't been knitting a lot lately. First because it's only been like 10 days since the last episode, so it hasn't been long. But also because I have a lot of things that I'm doing at the moment. Since I'm at the end of the pregnancy, I have a lot of things that I want to prepare. So I'm still reading a lot and still learning a lot of things, even though this is my second baby. But I love just reading about a lot of things, about giving birth, about baby massages and everything around newborn. So it takes a lot of time, but it's so interesting, and so it does take up some of my time. And also we're doing some house renovation, and so we have lots of things to do there in the house, but we also have a lot of decisions to make, and so lots of research. And I started packing to go back to our house. So all of this gives me less time to knit, but I still have a few things to show you because I have 2 finished objects today and I have a few works in progress and some new knits. So I still have projects to show you. It's a very dark and gloomy day today, so I hope the light will be okay. I had to turn on some of the lights in the house, so I hope it's gonna be bright enough for you to see something. But yeah. And let's start with what I'm wearing. So this is the Petit cardigan by HYGGE that I knit at the beginning of the year, I think, or end of last year, beginning of this year, something like that. And it's very, very nice, very cozy and soft. And I still haven't put the buttons on. I did make them. I made them in ceramic, but and so they're white with a golden line in the center. So they're ready. But since I can't close the cardigan anymore because of my big belly, I wasn't in a rush to put them on. Anyway, but yeah, I don't wear it so much because it's a bit cropped now because of the pregnancy, but it's just a very basic raglan cardigan, and I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit short here, and I can't close it anyway. But usually this is the perfect length. Well, it was the perfect length. And now about the finished objects. So the first one is this scarf here. So this is a pattern that I made, and this is made with the yarn from La Ferme des Cycles, which is a decay weight yarn. And it's non-superwash, 100% wool, and I think I need to block it once more, not to block it but to wash it once more so it gets softer. But I think that now you can really see the stitches, because last time when I showed it to you I hadn't blocked it because I was still knitting it, and so we couldn't really see the stitches. But I really love the results, and this is the right length. I thought it would be too long, but it really doesn't grow at all because it's non-superwash yarn, and it's rustic in a way, but it's not itchy at all. I already made a beanie with this yarn for my toddler and he loves to wear it, so really not itchy on the forehead, and so I thought that for the neck it would be okay too. And so this is just a little scarf like this, and yeah, just how I imagined it. So I'm really happy I finished it, and I think I'm just going to wash it again before wearing it, and that's it. And I love the cables on this because they are really easy. It was such an easy knit, but still it gives something to do when knitting it, and it's also something nice to look at. It's not just a simple scarf, so I'm really happy about this one, and so happy that I finished it to be able to wear it now. And I think it's going to be good because I have one scarf, I have a Sophie scarf that I'm wearing all the time. It's my only scarf that I have. Otherwise I have big shawls, but I find them too big, especially on the bike or just to run around. And so I love wearing just a scarf to have my neck warm. But since I made it in a yarn that is 100% alpaca, it's very soft, very drapey, and so it doesn't hold its shape all the way up to the top of the neck, whereas this one is a bit more sturdy and a little bit more stiff than alpaca, and so it stays really nicely on the neck and on the whole neck, so it's gonna be really nice to wear. So this is my first finished object. Now the second one is a baby knit, and those are some pants. I think I have to change a little bit the light. It might be a little grainy because it's too dark, I'll see. And so those are the first impression pants by Drops Design that I made in Drops Flora. And those are some ribbed pants. Like this. And so ribbed pants, that means that it's so elastic. And so I made those pants in the size 12 to 18 months, thinking that since it was made in ribbing, so very elastic, I could fit a newborn into them and the baby will grow into them. And so I think that first I'm just showing it to you because I'm rolling the legs too. It can be a lot smaller to give a lot of warmth for a newborn, and then I can just roll them up at the beginning, roll them down like this here. And when the baby grows, I can just have a little less, have them a little bit longer every time. And it seems very long, but it's also, well, this is the size of the newborn legs, but yeah. And it was, so it's knitted top down, and in the round we do some shaping at the back, so to raise the back. So the back of the baby is also warm. So I think you can see it like this. This is a little bit higher not by much, I think, but I think it's going to be okay. Then we do some increases for the crotch, and then the legs in the round. I knit the legs 2 at a time on with magic loop, so I would do the decreases at the same time, and I would be done with both legs at the same time and not have to redo a second one. And yeah, I already washed those pants, so they're ready to be put in the maternity bag, because I think I will bring them with me. And I think they're gonna be really nice to wear for a baby, easy to put on because they're so stretchy, so it won't bother the baby to wear them, especially around the belly. And for us, it's going to be easy to put them on. So I think that's all I have to say about that. About the shaping at the back, I think it's the only modification that I made was that I made some German short rows when it's not the short rows that are recommended in the pattern, but other than that, didn't change anything. Knitted to pattern to the length recommended. And that's it for the finished objects. The only one that I wanted to show you is the one that I finished last time, but I hadn't put the buttons on yet, and this is the Brownie Baby Cardigan by Sandra Maghalaes, and just wanted to show you the buttons that I put on, little green buttons, because I think it makes it so much more finished with the buttons. So this one is also blocked, so it's also ready to be put aside so the baby can wear it a little bit later, because this was the size 6 to 9 months old, so it's gonna be for spring. And now about the wax in progress. The first one is one that I'm just knitting on it from time to time. It's the one that I bring everywhere with me because it's so easy to knit on it. Since I had quite a few doctor's appointments lately for the end of the pregnancy, I took it with me so I could be knitting on it in the waiting room. And this is the double knitted scarf by HYGGE Life. Which is a very basic scarf. So first with the yarn, I'm knitting it with this yarn, which is 100% alpaca. DK weight yarn. I don't have any tag on it because I found it at my local yarn store, and she had at that time, she had some yarn that didn't have any tag on it, so she only knew the composition of the yarn, the yardage, and that was it. And this is for my mom. And so it's a very basic scarf, so we cast on some stitches here, then we knit in double knit, back and forth, and then we make those holes here. So at the end, when we wear the scarf, we can actually, it's not long enough now for me to show it to you, but if I try to, it's here, like we can close it here. Where are it's really not big enough, but we have the holes here, and so we can pass the scarf through the holes. So it holds into place. We don't have to make a knot, and it doesn't have to be too long to be held into place. So I think it's really nice. And last time I showed it to you, I was there, so a bit of progress. Not much, because it's just the one that I'm knitting on from time to time. And I'm not so much in a rush to finish it. I want to knit it for Christmas for my mum, so I still want to finish it by the end of December. And I think it's going to be so nice for her to wear that. She's very sensitive to mohair, but not alpaca, so this is great. The second work in progress that I'm knitting on is one that I cast on and showed you last time, and it's a very basic knit, but I wanted to knit something for myself, and so I cast on the Monday sweater by Petiteknit in here in Drops Puna. I don't have the yarn tag with me, but everything is written down below. I put the links to my Ravelry pages that I keep up to date, and so you have the yarn that I use, the yardage, you also have the color names or color numbers, so you have everything. All the modifications that I make in a pattern, I write them in my Ravelry page, so you have all the information down below, and if if anything is missing, just write a comment with your question so I can answer. And so this is what I have left of my third ball, and this is what I've done. So since last time I separated for the sleeves, and now I'm just knitting in the round. Here it is, and I'm really happy about it. It fits perfectly as I imagined it. It's a very basic one that I will be able to wear every day with every outfit, and it's 100% alpaca, so it's quite drapey, so I have to be careful about that so it doesn't really grow too much in length. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit heavy. At the moment, I think I will need like 9 balls. I'm knitting the smallest size, so size XS, and I think I'm going to need around 9 balls of yarn. I only have 6, so I have to buy 3 more. But yeah, that's gonna be around like 450 grams, which is okay, but it's still heavier because it's alpaca, so not much to say about that because it's just a very basic construction, raglan with a double knitted collar, and I'm just knitting it in the round. And I'm knitting a project vlog for this one because I think it's always nice to see some of the project like this in video. And also in the project vlog I started filming it and started to explain also the differences between the Monday sweater and the North-Rails sweater by Petiteknit, because I've already knitted a North-Rails sweater, and so I thought they were really similar, so I wanted to make a comparison between the two. And then the next work in progress that I have is this one. This one, I love it. This is the Amy Slipover. Very dark yarn, very hard to show you on camera with this light. Just about the yarn, I'm knitting it with, I lost the tag. It's here. In Plotulopi from Istex, which is an unspun yarn. Like this. So this is a knit that stays at home, not to break the yarn. But this is quite a sturdy yarn for an unspun yarn, so I think it's quite nice. They don't put the color numbers on the tags, so I just know it's a green, but they have different shades of green. And in my local yarn store, they only had this one, which I absolutely love, so no problem. But I can't tell you the color, but this is the tag. I don't know how to find the colors. Like, if you have one plate of Plotulopi, how do you get another one that will be the same color if you don't have the tag, the color names? I don't know. But anyway, so this is the Amy Slipover by Sandnes Gone, and this is the back. And I started to do the increases here. So I started here, and I'm making the increases here. So I modified a little bit the pattern because I'm using this yarn, which has a bigger gauge than the one recommended in the pattern. I think in the pattern it's 23 stitches, and I'm knitting it on a 19 stitch gauge. So after a lot of thoughts, I decided to cast on 60 stitches. Everything is written in my Ravelry page if you're interested in knitting it with this yarn. But I cast on, it's only one size in the pattern, so I cast on 60 stitches and based on my gauge, and then I'm going to do less increases for the underarms. So it's not too large, not too long. I just haven't decided yet how many I'm going to do. And also the other modification that I made is that we do the increases after 8 stitches in the pattern. I did them after 7 stitches because it's a bit larger for me. I wanted to do it closer to the side, but we have this garter stitch edge here. I don't know if you can see it here. And so I didn't want to do the increases in the garter stitch. So I made the garter stitch edge here, then knit 1 stitch and then made the increases. Maybe you can see it here. Maybe if I show you the other side without the stitch marker, it will be easier for you to see it. Here. And this is the back panel, so I'm doing the increases, and I think then I'm just knitting straight, and then I will pick up the stitches for the front, I think. Haven't read the pattern entirely. And this is making a really nice fabric that I really love. So I'm really glad I started this project. And then I have one last work in progress that is a new one. And because I have been knitting a little bit on my, how are they called? Under the quilt socks by Stone Knits, but not much, so I don't think it's very interesting for you to see it. If you're interested in seeing this pattern, I showed it in my last episode, but since I haven't made a lot of progress on it, I'm not going to show it to you today. And same with the half and half triangle shawl from Rosarios. I'm knitting on it a little bit, but I don't think it's really interesting for you to see the progress every time I film a podcast because it's a very long web. So and so the last one that I want to show you is another knit for the baby, because why not? And this is the baby bear bonnet by Knitting for Olive, because I knit the baby bonnet from the Ellen's Coming Home set by Petiteknit, and I thought it would be nice to have a second one. And so the first one I knitted in the size 3 to 6 months, and this one I'm knitting it in the size 6 to 9, I think. Let me just check, but I haven't written it down, but I think I'm making this, so I thought I would have a bigger one. And I'm knitting it, I know why I started it, because I was cleaning my desk with my yarn and everything I have on it, and I had this yarn. This is Drops Lima, and I have like 10 balls of this yarn that I've had in my stash for a few years now, like at least 5 years, because I bought it to make my partner a sweater. He chose the yarn, he chose the pattern. I tried it once, it didn't really fit, it wasn't working well. I tried it again, wasn't working at all, so we found another pattern. And then I brought this yarn with me, thinking that in the other house we're living in at the moment, and I thought that I could start him his sweater. But when I got it out and told him, okay, now let's look for a pattern that will be well written, that you will love to wear, and that is going to fit with this yarn, he said, I don't like this yarn so much anymore, the color. Like, he said that he still liked the color, but not to wear it for himself. So I thought I would still use this yarn for something. I have many balls, and if he's not gonna wear it, this is not a color. I don't think I'm going to want to wear a sweater with this color either. So I thought, well, let's use it for something. So I decided to cast on a baby bear bonnet by Knitting for Olive. So here it is. I think it's a little bit brighter on camera than it really is. And so in this pattern you have the choice to make either some ribbing here around the head, around the face, or some garter stitch. So I decided to do some ribbing here, and now I'm just knitting. So I did the increases, and now I'm increasing just for the ears here. And I'm still increasing. And I think it's gonna be just such a quick knit. And I think I wanted to start this one, to cast on this project, also to have something finished, and because it's gonna be really rewarding to have this other knitting project for the baby. And yeah, what else to say about this? That's it. It's not gonna use much. It's supposed to use less than a ball of yarn, so not a lot. And I'm knitting it with, I have the right gauge, but the fabric is a little bit denser than what's recommended. I think it's recommended to knit it with Knitting for Olive Merino, so fingering weight yarn with silk mohair, and I'm knitting it with DK weight yarn. So the fabric is a little bit denser, but I think the gauge is 23 stitches, when for this yarn it's recommended to have 21. But I like the fabric that it makes, and it's gonna be really warm around the baby's head, so it's gonna be good. So that's it. I don't have much to say about this pattern. For me, it's easy to understand, and it's just a bonnet. So yeah. And so I do have some plans. I'm going to start with the plans before the acquisitions. I have some acquisitions to show you, not because I bought some yarn since last time, but just because I forgot to show you in the last episode some of the yarn that I bought at the yarn festival. So I still wanted to show it to you because it's really nice. So for the plants, the first one that I have, I talked a little bit about it last time. Let me take the yarn, because I have a swatch. I have a tiny swatch. And here it is. It's not the exact swatch, the exact yarn that I will be using. I will be explaining this. But this tiny swatch with some tweed yarn. So the yarn that I have is the one that I used for a jumper that I made for myself 2 years ago, and since then my partner has been telling me I want the exact same jumper. But it's a cable jumper that I didn't take a pattern for it. I wrote it down myself, so for my size. And so it's a little bit hard to be grading it because for different reasons. First, it's a top-down sweater with cables. So it's always harder to write a pattern with cables top-down than bottom-up with all of the cables. Then it's it's kind of satin sleeves, but not entirely satin sleeves. It's a little bit drop shoulders, but with some shaping to it, both in the arms and in the sleeves and in the body. And so it makes it really hard to grade it for other sizes than mine. And so I want the cables to look good, so I don't want just to add moss stitch on the sides, because it doesn't really look good if I don't add cables or if I don't modify it like this. So I told him that I would make it one day for his size. I just have to have enough brain capacity and time to actually work on the pattern. Some of you also asked if I could write the pattern, and I said yes, I do want to make it. It's such a hard one to make that it does take a lot of time. So I told him that if he didn't want me to use this yarn for his sweater, then which one should I use? And he said, the one that you use for your sweater. So he really wants this one. Because it's a tweed yarn, it's kind of like cream colored yarn. And so I made a swatch because I still had this left from my sweater, and this is the yarn is Woolyknit 4-ply, British wool 4-ply, so a really nice yarn. And I had this cone of yarn which is exactly the same, just not in the same color. So I made my swatch with those two strands of yarn held together, but in his sweater I'm going to use only the tweed yarn, this one. And the swatch is perfect, and he chose, I knew he wanted me to knit with this yarn, so something warm, he said. So I selected a few patterns, and he settled on the single malt sweater by Maxim. And so I made a swatch with 2 strands of this yarn. Haven't washed it, I should. But I'm engaged, and so I think I can start it. And I think since I only have a pattern, I only have to follow a pattern, I can actually start it. Not to finish it soon, maybe it's gonna be for next winter. I'm not so much of a rush to knit it, but maybe just to start it, to have something for him, because he's really knit worthy. He wears a lot of he wears everything that I've knitted for him, and he really wants me to knit more for him. So I think it's gonna be good if I start this sweater for him. And I also want to knit him some socks, because a few days ago he was getting ready in the morning and he told me, oh look, I'm wearing your socks. I'm only wearing your woolen socks now at the moment. And so I was like, is this a demand to have more knitted socks? And he was like, yes, please, I want some more. So yes, he really likes them. I think he has three pairs of knitted socks, so he rotates with them, but I think it would be nice to have another pair for him, so I want to do that. And I think I'm going to knit it. The one that the pair that he wears the most is the one that I made with Mondim yarn. So I think I'm going to make another pair for him with this yarn. I just have to buy the right color because he wanted some green socks, or like he wanted some white socks with green stripes. But I'm a little bit scared that green socks will get very dirty, and so I'm not sure about that. Or I'm knitting it just in green with white stripes. He liked it a little bit less, so I'm not sure yet, but I want to knit him some socks. So those are the plans for my partner. And I also have some other plans. Some socks. I want to knit some socks for the whole family actually, because my toddler has been asking me to knit him some socks too. And now we have the yarn for him, so I want to do that. He chose the yarn at the yarn festival, some purple yarn, and so I'm going to knit him some socks too. And I do need to knit some socks for the baby to come, because I made some newborn socks for my toddler when he was born, and in 100% alpaca, I think, or a mix of alpaca and wool, and he wore them every day for many weeks. And so I thought it was really nice because it's breathable, and so he doesn't get too warm in woolen socks, so I think it's really nice. But I'm not sure where we put them, so I do think I want to make another pair just so we have one ready for the birth. So if I want to do that, I do have to get moving on it, because the birth is in a week. So I just want to tell you which one it is. It's the Perfect Newborn Socks by Tabitha Candy. And it's the pattern that I used for my toddler. So I think I'm going to use this one too for this baby. So this is the socks that I want to make, and also the other project that I would like to cast on. It's not urgent, but I would like to do it. I have two options. Either I make the Sell My Slipsuit by Petiteknit, because I thought that it was the right gauge to knit with this yarn, and to use up, because I was looking at through the different patterns that I wanted to knit and through my stash, and so I thought, if I have that much yarn, with this one I have enough to make the Selma slipsuit. So maybe I'm knitting that, or I wanted to make the, how is it called? It's a pattern from Sandra Maghalaes, because I like all of her patterns for babies and children, and I forgot the name of it. What is it? It's also a suit. I will write it on the screen, and I also have the yarn for it, and it wasn't actually in my autumn knitting plans, and so either I do this one or the Selma's slipsuit. And so I don't know which one I will start first, but one of the two. And so those are my plans. I still have a lot of plans, even though I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to knit on in the next few weeks or months. But I love this moment, like planning what I want to knit on and just maybe dreaming a little bit. So those are my plans, and now for the acquisitions. I only have one acquisition, and it's a tea quantity, and it's the yarn Alfama from Rosarios Quadro, and it's 100% linen. This is a Portuguese brand that I really like, and so this is the colorway. Not a surprise, it's brown. I've already used it once, this yarn, to make the Darjeeling top by Trust the Mojo, and this is, I used it in a grey color, and when I saw this brown here, I was like, oh, I absolutely love it, so I want to knit something with it. And so I have, sorry for the noise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 7 of this, 7 skeins, but those are 50-gram skeins. Let me check that. Yes, 50 grams. And so, yes, I have 7 of them to make a tee, and I want to make the, how is it called? It's a shirt that I wanted to make for a long time. It's by Cookie the Knitter, and it's, I will write it on the screen. And I remember looking at the pattern and thinking the smallest size isn't small enough for me. So I asked the designer if she was thinking of creating it one size smaller, which she did. So I can actually knit it now to my size. And I think I asked her like 2 years ago, something like that. And I still really like the pattern, so I think it's a good pattern to choose. And I think it would be perfect in linen. So this is the acquisition that I wanted to show you, and it's the only one. So yeah, that's it for today, I think. And I think this will be the last podcast before I have my baby. So next time I see you, it will be in a few weeks, a few months, I'm not sure. I don't plan anything ahead. One thing that I wanted to share with you is that my toddler is actually learning how to knit. He was asking for a few months now, and he's going to be 4 soon, and he loves it. So for me, it's such a joy to be able to share that with him. So I think that in the next few weeks and months, I will continue knitting and knitting with him. So that's really nice. And I think that if I have the energy today, maybe I will film a podcast, like not a podcast, but just one episode with all my baby knits, the ones that I made this time and the ones that I made for my toddler when he was born, just to talk a little bit about it and to have everything all together so I can have a video ready, and just to share my thoughts with you on why I chose those patterns and the sizes that I chose to make and the ones that we used or not for my toddler. So I think that I might do that, and I will see you in a few weeks or month. And until then, I hope that you have some nice creative moments, that you do take some time to cozy up and to knit, to crochet, to do all the things that you love. Bye!